The first S tier is going to be Groot. So I think Groot is currently the best tank in the game. I think his range, his walls, his healing push him far and above the other two. When he doesn't have the Mantis team up with the buffs to his range, I think he's still S tier, but he goes down to the third place. The next best tank is Emma is a menace. She counters every tank in the game except Magneto. She's one of the few shield tanks, which means that she's playable in literally every game, every single time. There's never a reason not to play her. Magneto got a nerf. I'm putting him under Emma this season. The 50 health off of his bubble isn't really that big of a deal. But Emma was already neck and neck with him, so I feel like it's appropriate to finally give her that spot above Magneto. He has the ability to insta-kill, he has the ability to counter ults, he has the ability to stop DPS ults, his ability to make his team CC immune. Thing. Now, there are games where Thing is S tier. The difference is, unlike Mag, Groot, and Emma, he can't be played in literally every single game. So despite the fact that he is extraordinarily good, like ridiculously good, it's the fact that he can't be played in every single lobby that makes him not quite S tier. Joining him in A tier is Cap. I'm putting Strange here. Now, he might be A tier. He might be A tier, but I'm going to put him in B. Now, Strange did see a lot of play in the tournament. He was actually played over people in A tier often, very often. The problem is that he was only ever played when both Emma and Mag were both banned. And that's why even if he is A, he's still nowhere near S. Venom and Hulk. And I put them together because they're very similar in what they do. I think Venom is better carry potential, like he specifically can get kills, whereas Hulk has to work with his team a little bit more. I also think that Venom's team up is better. Namor turret is pretty good, but the Jeff cables are actually just straight up broken. Penny Parker, who I've seen people put in B, and I could get behind that. My main problem is she's the only person we never, or one of the only two tanks we never saw in tournament. Even the things that she's good at are too easy to get around for her to be playable in a high enough level. That said, if you are playing like anything Celestial or below, which is like 99% of the players who play this game, Penny's going to be somewhere between B and A, right? They're going to be like here. The problem is that if we're considering all levels of play, she drops down one. Or goes down here in D. He saw a very minor change that's basically not even a buff. He gets an extra Thor force whenever he leaves his awakening. So there's no actual damage buff. The only thing it gives you is a dash, which is a thing that will save you when you're getting dove. And it makes Thor a lot better than he was. Problem is, every other character already had a way to get out of a dive. Penny could use her web to get out. Venom could use his web to get out. Strange could fly. Hulk could jump. Cap could dash. He has 2 dashes. Thing could either dash to his teammate or he could run with the shield buff. Mag can bubble and shield. Emma can shield and turn into diamond form and also has a dash. And Groot can wall himself off or elevator himself up if he puts his wall straight down. Thor was the only character who couldn't get out. Now that he can get out, it makes him go from D tier to D tier. He actually goes from F tier to D tier. The best DPS in the game, bar none, absolutely none, Johnny Storm. He is basically Moon Knight, but he can fly. And his hitbox is like the same size as Spider-Man. He is impossible to hit. He has more health than he needs, especially if he gets his team ups. He has 2 team ups that can keep him alive. So he can have the drone on him. He can have invisible team up. He can even have the snowflake on him. And he can just be completely immortal in the sky, specifically Warlock or Raccoon. Then even if you do manage to kill him, he just comes back. So he is a complete menace, and you can't even play the game until he's dead. Phoenix, who I think is just hella better. More ammo, faster attack speed, more AoE damage. Wolverine is able to... Because, like, the thing is, he has a particular trait that allows him to take you from where you want to be standing and move you to where you really do not want to be standing. And it stuns you when that happens, and there's nothing you can do. There's no counterplay at all, unless you counter him before he dashes. The next one is Psylocke. Has the ability to execute with like a one-shot combo anytime, anywhere on the map with her invisibility and her double dashes. Hela is the point-and-click adventure character. Basically going to just kill any character in the game. Basically nothing you can do about it except heal through it. No damage fall off. completely crazy and busted. Punisher. Punisher is a weird one because I think he's actually at the bottom of A, but I'm putting him at the top of the A for a very specific reason. It's because he counters Groot, and I think Groot is going to be the best tank. Storm. Storm is like Johnny, but not AoE, right? It's like Hela in the sky instead of Moon Knight in the sky. The right click is basically instant, so if you land 2 shots, right click, boom, dead. Instant. Basically no weaknesses except for things like Spider-Man or Johnny. And even then, you can deal with them. Blade next. Blade is the newest character. I think he's extraordinarily good. I think he belongs in high A tier. He can kill through heal ult. The only thing he can't kill through is Loki lamps. He combos extremely well with Emma, Magneto, Groot, and Strange. Bucky has been getting a lot of play lately. He has super heavy carry potential. He can kill through ults. He has to combo to do it, but he can kill through heal ults. He also has the hook, which is very similar to why Wolverine is so good. I think Black Panther, I think the nerfs were completely negligible. Star-Lord, this one is a bit sketchy. He's still the same Star-Lord that was starting to fall off because it was getting easier and easier to counter him. But they gave him a shield whenever he dashes. They also gave him a teleporter. I think he's going to be pretty good, especially because the whole point of the teleporter, whenever he ults, he can throw his teleporter, run away, ult, and then teleport to his teleporter, and then ult you without even having like the startup animation. I think Iron Fist jumped up from C all the way up to B. I think him giving his entire team 100 overshield every 12 seconds is actually busted. I think the 100 overshield for your entire team is on the same level as the Jeff team up, which was so good that we actually saw Jeff in the tournament like 6 times. And he had like a 90% win rate. If you can make Jeff with 100 overshield and all of his teammates go that crazy, imagine if you did that with a character that was already somewhat playable. So I think Iron Fist is actually going to be really good. His team up is a million times better too because he teams up with Luna, which I think I don't need to give a spoiler warning. She's going to be S tier. Iron Man's pretty good. He counters Groot. He does a lot of damage. As a flyer, he's actually one of the flyers who can get away from the thing. I think he's going to be pretty good, especially because of the things he does. He can shoot over Groot walls. He can shoot over Emma walls. He can avoid the thing. His only real counters are Johnny, Hela, Phoenix, which are all S tiers, which is the main reason why he's not A tier. Black Widow has been seeing more and more play slowly but surely over time. This character requires you to actually be the fucking GOAT. She shuts down every dive in the game, even the tanks. You cannot play any dive into Black Widow or you will just lose the game, assuming she's actually good enough to hold her own as a DPS. Next is Namor. I consider Namor extremely low value. I genuinely have never seen a Namor other than actual pros who I thought actually were doing a good job on Namor. It's very rare for me to ever see a Namor who's popping off any more than the A-tier characters. In fact, I don't think I've actually seen it in the last 2 seasons. Everyone talks about his team up and how good the green squid is, but you can just shoot it. If everyone on your team shoots it a single time, it dies instantly, and it literally doesn't even get to take damage. He's just hella but bad. Next up is Magic. I'm putting Magic in B because she actually got tournament play a little bit. She has several ways to one-shot characters, especially through ult. She has a lot of damage in the backline. She can force tanks out if the tanks are diving. She's actually very good at anti-dive as well as diving. Hawkeye is a character who I really thought was going to be good. No one plays him. He gets hard countered by tank dive. Very hard countered by any tank dive. And he's basically unplayable in higher lobbies. That said, he's still in B because I think he has better kill potential than everyone in B and most of people in A. He instantly headshots, kills through heal ult, kills tanks with his alternate fire. There's a lot going for Hawkeye. The problem is it's really easy to kill a Hawkeye. Funny thing about Squirrel Girl is I've seen a lot of people playing Squirrel Girl lately. I've even seen top 500 players playing Squirrel Girl. I've seen dozens of them playing Squirrel Girl in top 500. Actually insane. She does so much damage that she does basically the same thing as Phoenix, just slower, kind of like Namor with Hela. On the brink of being like an A tier character. The problem is her ult is completely terrible. She has basically no way to escape other than running like a bitch and hoping you get healed through it. Spider-Man's the next character. In Season 3, I put him in D tier. He got a buff to his ult. He can now kill. He used to not be able to kill if he got a breath of healing. He used to not be able to kill a penny standing in a web. Who was at 10 HP. He's overall a pretty decent character. The main problem is he's just worse than every other dive. We're grading on a scale here. He is worse than every other dive. He does less damage than every other DPS. He is basically Mr. Fantastic. Speaking of which, Mr. Fantastic is the next character. The only reason Mr. Fantastic isn't above Spider-Man is because Spider-Man has 3 spider webs. He can be anywhere on the map at any time. Mr. Fantastic has an advantage over Spider-Man that he's anti-dive and he's damn near immortal. The problem with Mr. Fantastic is his kill potential is kind of not great. He's kind of like Squirrel Girl, where he just does a lot of damage and doesn't kill anything. But he is also one of the characters who does like some of the highest damage and is extremely tanky. Moon Knight. I'm putting Moon Knight under Mr. Fantastic. He does a lot of damage, nothing else. He's very squishy. The best way to play Moon Knight is to try to hide in the enemy's backline and sneak attack them and kill them when they're not expecting it. Try to get the one-shots with the onks and run away. He plays like Spider-Man if Spider-Man didn't have his webs. He can't swing around. So he's just like a worse Spider-Man. He's also fat as fuck. He has the same hitbox as like Doctor Strange, but he has 200 health. Lastly is Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch does 60 DOT, which is less than any healer in the game's HOT, except maybe Ultron. I can't remember what his HOT is. She does less damage than any healer. She physically cannot kill someone unless she right-click dumps into them. And if she right-click dumps into someone, then she has to build up her charge again. But her left click that charges her right clicks only has a 15-meter range, so she has less range than all of the tanks. So if she stands in front of her tank, she dies. If she stands behind her tanks, then she can't charge her right click, so she has to dive, and then she goes into dive, and then she gets anti-dove by any character I've said that can anti-dive. She loses to literally all of them because she only does 60 DOT. Until she builds up her stacks. But if she's just spent all that time building up her stacks, then they know she's there, so they're just going to heal through it. So she is completely worthless in every regard. The only way she ever gets a kill is if the enemy team is scrambled or split up by some other player on your team. If your Scarlet Witch is popping off in your game, either you're playing in a lobby that is under gold, or your tanks are popping off and driving the other team insane and they're not healing each other. So it is never Scarlet Witch that's actually winning your game. It's either the other team throwing or your tank making so much space for her that she can just sit there and do her 60 DOT and kill them over the course of several minutes. And they are completely and wholly reliant on their tanks to win the game for them. All they do is sit there and spam their right clicks. They would be better off playing just Moon Knight and holding left mouse button. Genuinely. Best healer in the game is Luna. Bar none. A lot of people say it's Loki. There's a very good reason they say that, is because he can steal anyone's ultimate. The reason why that's important is because he could be a second Luna, Invis, or Cloak and Dagger. He also has lamps, so he basically has 2 ults. That makes him incredibly powerful. That means that he's actually a better Luna than Luna. The only reason why he is not above Luna is because Loki requires another S-tier hero to be S-tier. If he's paired up with a Jeff, a Rocket, he's basically unplayable. At that point, you have to go Luna in order to play it. The third healer that is an S-tier is the Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger is honestly not that great of a healer in a lot of regards. She does a decent job. She does a passable job. She is probably the 4th best healer in the game. Actually, probably 5th best healer in the game. The reason why she's an S tier is because she can damage buff and cloak, in like shroud people. So she can make everyone on her team CC and damage immune. It requires all of them to stop DPS when it happens, which requires good communication. Extremely hard to use. If you are not in like eternity lobbies, she's probably in A or B tier. The other thing that she does that's really good is I think it's like 28% damage buff that she can put on any enemy. I can remember the cooldown for it because I don't play this character, but she can throw her shadow curtain, the dark curtain thing, and the enemies get blinded and they turn purple. And if you shoot at them, you do 28% more damage. And you can use that with a dozen different DPSs, including the A tier DPSs, in order to kill through heal ult. In A tier, I think the best off support or best secondary support is Adam Warlock. If you land every right click, he gets his heal refresh. And if you are able to land consecutive right clicks, you can do a lot of healing. You can almost keep up with the healers in S tier. He's like 2/3 of a healer instead of half a healer. On top of that, he has res. And if you're playing triple support, res is the best ult in the game. Only if you're playing triple support, because the heal ults are more important. He does a lot of damage, so he can take one of the spots of your DPS. And he also pairs with Luna. You can give her the life steal buff. So whenever she gets dove, she can use that ability to save herself. Mantis is the next one. Mantis is already getting played in very high level. Her damage buff is extraordinarily good. You can put it on several teammates at a time. She can have permanent uptime if she's landing enough shots, and your team will just have a statistical advantage in every single fight. The next one is Ultron. Ultron is extraordinarily powerful. He's basically a DPS. He does a billion damage. He can fly. He has a small hitbox. All the things that make Johnny good. He just doesn't do as much damage. He makes up for it, however, because he has the drone, which is a healing ability, which is extremely useful and good. He's probably the worst of the secondary healers. However, if he's paired with another flyer like Storm and Johnny, he can put the drone on them and make those flyers basically immortal. I think that personally, Adam, Luna, and Ultron are going to be extraordinarily powerful with either a Johnny or a Storm to keep them alive forever. And when they eventually die, you can just res them. And it is going to be the most horrific, cancerous thing in the world, and I'm excited to see it in the tournaments. Invis Woman is slightly worse than the other God tier healers. There are some people who would put her in S tier. I put her in A tier because her circle, when she puts on her heal ult, it cannot move. So it's a lot easier to force the ult out of her, push people out of her ult, or kill them before they make it to the ult. You can also kidnap people out of the ult if you have any of the kidnapping abilities, which you cannot do with Luna, because you can simply walk over as Luna. You can walk over to the person that just kidnapped. The Rocket Raccoon, who is C tier. He has basically no ability to do anything. He has the res beacon. He never dies. That pushes his stats up really high in ranked. If you are playing in ranked, then you're going to have a lot of success with him. However, he does not have any carry potential at all. He literally is just like a stat boost, kind of like Mantis. It's not as good as Mantis' stat boost, however. Mantis just gives damage buff to everybody, so Mantis is just a little bit better. The only thing that puts Rocket above anyone is his ultimate is really good. The problem is that his ultimate is easily countered by anyone in S tier, and also Punisher. You just shoot it and it dies, and there's a couple characters up there who are really good at shooting things. Jeff the Landshark, I would love to put in B tier because he is dog shit. The problem is we're including team-ups. And if we include the cables, he goes up to C tier. I'm actually going to put him above Rocket because he doesn't get countered by everyone in S tier and half the people in A tier. The only people he actually gets countered by is Magneto and Hulk. Everyone else basically is true neutral against him because he is a G. So the cables are really good. Like I said, I think that Iron Fist is actually going to be better than cables, so I'm going to move him down. If it wasn't for Iron Fist just being a better Jeff, then I would probably put Jeff in B. And I think he is worse in every way to Adam Res or Mantis damage boost, or the Ultron drone whenever Ultron is paired with a flyer or whenever he's paired with a dive. So I think that Jeff is just not going to cut it this season. In Season 3, I would have put him in B. In 3.5, I think he goes down to C. Just because everyone else who it goes up, and we're scaling on a grade. but I don't think we'll see most teams playing him anymore. I don't think we're going to see any more Envy running Jeff, unfortunately, because they're going to be running Warlock instead. As far as pick bans, I would recommend banning Johnny, the Wolverine, or Emma. Those are the three main ones. And anything like GM and above. Anything below GM, I recommend banning Black Panther and either Loki or one of the S tier tanks. There you go. That's the tier list. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.